Alright, what's going on YouTube? PyroTakun here, and I'm here to redo my video about the year in review 2011 for Nintendo, because there's a lot of stuff I left out. The video just sucked, so I'm here to redo it. Alright, first up we got the Wii. There's not really too much to say that went on with the Wii this year. It was kind of really quiet. Like, even the exclusive games that came out for the Wii were just really under the radar anyways. Like I said, first up there was Lost in Shadow, which was good, but it kind of didn't fly off the shelves. Reviewers kind of like, didn't really talk about it too much. So Lost in Shadow, that was a platformer. It was good, but it was just, again, under the radar. Conduit 2, that came out, I forget, like February, March, or whatever. It was early in the year, and it just didn't live up to, apparently, the godly expectations people had for it, so people just immediately got pissed off and crapped all over that. And then it was just real quiet for a long ass time. We got Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which was a great game. Just got like good, okay to good reviews. I had a blast with the game. I thought it was fun. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, of course, the only game that got attention on the Wii this year was really Skyward Sword, and it's a great game. I love it. The motion controls, it works. It works. I love that game. And then after that, I'm just going to kind of list multiplats, because really these multiplats here kind of stood out on the Wii. Oh wait, no, hold on. Trackmania. Sniping is fun. Mentioned a couple games I forgot in my last video. I have no idea what the fuck Trackmania is, but I'll just go ahead and say it. Anyways, the Multiplat Skylanders, Rayman Origins, and Rune Factory, those stand out on the Wii because the other consoles that have those games, really, those games got swept under the rug. Like, there was other games out there like Skyrim, Arkham City, and some other shit that just really took the spotlight. So on the Wii, Rayman Origins, Skylanders, and Rune Factory kind of stand out, because those are some of the few multiplats the Wii got this year that are actually worth noting. Alright, moving on from the Wii, I'm going to go to the DS. I didn't have this in the last video. I forgot all about the DS for some reason. The DS was kind of quiet this year, but of course the 3DS was out, so that makes sense. Alright, first up we have Okamiden. I'm going to mention Okamiden first. Sequel to Okami on PS2 and the Wii. And Okamiden, it's give and take. It's give and take. Overall, it's a good game. A lot of reviewers gave it pretty good scores. Next up, we're going to have Pokemon Black and White. Let's see here. Pokemon Black and White, they're great. I fucking love Pokemon. I think I got like 200 to 300 hours in Black version. Or is it white version? Yeah, black version. And it's a great game. It's fun, but I feel like they should have just held off for the 3DS. I'll get to that later. But Pokemon Black and White, awesome games. Kirby's Mass Attack. I haven't personally played it. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. Game reviews, reviewed that game. Kirby Mass Attack. And then the last one I'm going to mention, Sola to Robo Red the Hunter. It's a good game. In like the story, the art style of the game. It's what gets me is kind of the battle system. It feels really overly simplistic until like kind of halfway or towards the end of the game it starts to pick up a little bit. But just the overall battle system was kind of turned me off. But that was still a good game, though. So DS, despite the fact that 3DS came out this year, DS still put out some good software. And that is some good shit. Alright. Now, the 3DS, like I mentioned, had a slow start. And it picked up. It gradually picked up. And by the end of 2011, it was good. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off. 3DS. Really, the launch lineup was kind of... the only game I really picked up at launch was Super Street Fighter 4. I also picked up Nintendogs, but that's only because I never played Nintendogs before. Like, I'm sure if I had it on DS, it wouldn't be such a big deal to me. But Super Street Fighter 4, and then later on got Dead or Alive Dimensions, Shin Megami Tensei, then Resident Evil Mercenaries 3D. It took a little while before Ocarina of Time came out. And more or less, it was kind of just Ocarina of Time and Master Quest on one cartridge. They added a couple things like boss rush mode. I mean, that's kind of cool, but it wasn't... I feel like they could have done a lot more with it. They could have done a lot more with Ocarina of Time. Star Fox 64 3D, basically same thing as Ocarina of Time. It was true to the original game, but almost to a fault. So there's that. And then, of course, Super Mario 3D Land and Mario Kart 7, which just kind of pushed the 3DS, really. Those are great games, though. I love both of them. And came out for November, December, so definitely during the holiday season, and that's when 3DS really started picking up. And then next up, I'm going to talk about the kind of eShop, the online features. Now, although those definitely took a while for it to get there, like 3DS came out in March, and it wasn't until like E3 during June when Nintendo actually started using the eShop, or actually put it up at all. And that was really dumb. It took a while, but when it came up, it was kind of and again, like the 3DS in general, just slowly picked up, and now it's pretty good. Alright, we're going to talk about Pushmo, Mighty Switch Force, great downloadable games that are only on the eShop, and those games really show exactly the potential of... Anyways, the potential of the awesomeness that the eShop has. So hopefully we see more games like those. We see some really good games. Let's see here. Virtual Console on the eShop. They have a few Game Boy games, like Super Mario... Well, what's it? The Game Boy Mario games. Then they got Metroid 2. I mean, they do have some notable Game Boy games up there, and I take it they're pretty fucking hard to find now, so not a bad idea to go pay like the $4 to check out those games. Another thing, Swap Note. It took a long ass time for 3DS to get a messaging system. Wasn't until like sometime December. Man, I have a terrible memory, but it took a long ass time, but it's finally here, and it's cool. It's cool, you know, you can draw pictures, you can add photos to it, put quick little recordings on there and send messages to friends via Wi-Fi. And you can even kind of draw in the background, draw in like the foreground, kind of give it like a little 3D effect. But my problem with it is it's not integrated with the system. Okay, not integrated with the system, meaning like I can't pause a game, message someone, and then resume the game like you can with 360 PS3. You actually, it's a separate application altogether. You have to close out the game, message, open the game, and that's my problem with the system. That's my problem with the Swap Note. It should have been integrated with the system. Okay, there was something else I want to talk about. Can't remember with the 3DS, but I'm just going to move on to the next thing. Nintendo, what they should have done with the 3DS. What they should have done with the 3DS is they should have put the first-party software out there first. They should have launched it with Super Mario 3D Land and Mario Kart 7, or like some first-party shit that sells. They should have done that to move the 3DS, because at the $250 price point, a lot of people were hesitant because there were no games for it, really, other than like Street Fighter 4 and some other crap. They should have definitely had Mario out there to push the system at first, so that way Nintendo moves the hardware, and then they should have let third parties pick up later on with their software, like Street Fighter, Dead or Alive, Resident Evil, and whatnot. They should have done it like that. But instead, Nintendo flip-flopped it, and for some reason they thought third parties would have the software that pushes Nintendo hardware. And no, that's not how it works. People buy Nintendo hardware for Nintendo software, and at launch they just had no compelling first-party software to really move the 3DS, and thus the quick price drop and whatnot. Anyways, but towards the end of the year, like especially December time, 3DS definitely took off. If you're part of the ambassador program, you paid $250 for your 3DS. You got 10 NES games, you got 10 Game Boy Advance games. The NES games I felt were kind of like crappy, but Nintendo is, they do have this thing in place to bring NES games to the eShop as 3D remakes, like they did with Excitebots, like they did with Kirby's Adventure. So I'm guessing all the like good games on the NES will pretty much show up as a 3D remake. Now, so I felt like the NES games were kind of crappy. But the Game Boy Advance games is where it was at. They had some great-ass Game Boy Advance games up there. A lot of them I actually haven't really played before, but I was excited to see that. I was excited to see Fire Emblem Sacred Stones make its way up there. Finally, people will be able to jump in and play Fire Emblem and understand what the hell I'm talking about, understand what the hell the fuss is about. So, that is good. A lot of people already played the Sacred Stones Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advance Ambassador thingamajig, and they're liking it, so that's good. And hopefully that builds up hype for when Fire Emblem for 3DS comes out. Alright, and let's see, that's Wii, DS, 3DS, and last but not least, Club Nintendo. Club Nintendo, again, I didn't talk about this last video. Club Nintendo, they updated the Club Nintendo look. It looks better. It looks, I don't know. I'm not really into the look that much. But what they did with it is pretty tight. First off, they added some new rewards, of course, throughout the year. It wasn't until recently that they added the Legend of Zelda 25th anniversary posters, which I can show you guys, not in this video, I don't feel like it. But the 25th anniversary posters, which look awesome. I don't know why they hesitated to release it, like why they waited so long, but they're here and they look awesome. And then next up, the coolest thing they did with Club Nintendo when they changed it was they made it to where you can use your coins to download some games. Now right now it's really small. They only got like 3 games. I think it's Super Mario Kart for the Wii, Fluidity for the Wii, and then Mario vs. Donkey Kong for 3DS. Like, download those games. But I think this is a great idea, and if they continue to expand on it, it'll be something ridiculously awesome. I'm really hoping to see Club Nintendo used in awesome ways. Oh, another thing, they add Club Nintendo points now to certain third-party software, such like Sonic Generations for 3DS. So this is just a fantastic idea. That way we can, submit our surveys and whatnot to third parties, but also get, Club Nintendo points for buying third-party software on Nintendo hardware. So that's awesome. Easier way to rack up points. And if they put up more downloadable games as rewards, then this definitely has potential to take off. I want to see more Club Nintendo. This is just a great idea. Alright, so that is Nintendo Year in Review 2011. Final thoughts, summary. It wasn't a good year for Nintendo. I mean, it was, but it wasn't a good year till like November, December. That's when it started getting good. Up until that point, it started off real crappy, then it got to tolerable, then okay, and now at the end of the year, everything just picked up, and it turned out to be good. But it took a while, and last couple months, it was a good year for Nintendo. So that is 2011 Year in Review for Nintendo, and that's it for this video. PyroTakun out.